Hi Stampers, this is Trevis. So today we are going to be making a card using some celebration product from the current celebration catalog on page 12 and 13. And this is a $100 item. So you get two items. You get the designer series paper and the stamp set. Friendly Hello is the stamp set, has 13 photopolymer stamps. I love it because it is stuff that I can really use. Hope you have the best birthday. Love that. Hello, friend. Love that. All of these stamps are awesome. So we're going to make a card today, and then I'm going to show you a couple different versions of using different designer series paper. This designer series paper can only be earned as a bundle. Okay, so it is $100. Unfortunately, you can't just keep buying the paper, which I wish we could, because once you have the stamp set, you don't need the stamp set again, but you will want this paper. And so I have made a card using the paper, but today I'm using a different designer series paper, You're a Peach. And that is in the annual catalog. So you can do so much with this stamp set. I am going to, the first thing I want to show you is I'm going to be using this piece of You're a Peach. And it coordinates well with the stamps, okay? So this stamp, this flower, resembles this flower, which makes me happy, okay? So like to me, when I see paper and it's tulips or it's daisies or whatever, and I think, oh, it doesn't really go with these flowers. But this, I think, does. So this is why I chose this. Now, what I'm going to do today is I am going to do some blend coloring. And so I am going to, I picked the colors that coordinate with this, which of course I love our paper because it tells us those colors. I'm going to be using Balmy Blue, Calypso Coral, and I'm going to be using, we don't have Pear Pizzazz, so I'm going to use the light Mossy Meadow, okay, as a blend. And it'll look fine because there's not really that much green to color in anyway. And this kind of looks darker to me than Pear Pizzazz. Okay, so what I did was I took a piece that is 5 by 3 3/4 and I cut it into slivers, okay, of 1 1/4 by 5. Okay, so that's, and I kept them in order like that. And the reason is because I'm going to mount these on a piece of Balmy Blue cardstock, and I'm going to pop one of them up. So this is a card where we made at Club this month, and it's a fun card to make. It's not that hard, but it's can really be a useful card in that you could make this an anything card, right? If you wanted to use Valentine paper, you could make a Valentine. We by the way, have the cutest Valentine paper ever. If you wanted to make Christmas cards, you could make a version of this with a Christmas card. So it's limitless. Okay, so this is also 5 1/4 by 1 1/2. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to mount this on top of this. Okay. And you're going to see why. You're thinking, what in the world is she doing? Okay, I'm going to make sure I center this, and I think I've got it centered. Yeah. Okay. So there we go. All right. So now what I want to do is pop this one up. And I'm going to be using the foam adhesive strips. And the reason is because they are a little thicker than dimensionals. Now, not saying that you couldn't use dimensionals. Certainly you could. And if you wanted it popped up higher than a normal thickness of a dimensional, you could double them up. Okay. So we used to have thick ones and thin ones. Now we just have thin ones. But you can use two and one on top of the other. But this is that thick width. So I am going to put some of this down on my strip. And just on both sides. I need a little more, so another little piece here. Stick that on there. Okay. Hello. Very sticky. Now I'm going to peel this off. It's just the start of my card, right? And then I want to make sure I get this going the right way, right? Because this is like a continuation of this. It's, I don't know how to explain it, but I think you get it. So that it's pleasing to the eye. Okay, so now can you see that that is popped up? And it's like three-dimensional. Okay, so we're going to put that aside. Come back to that in a minute. In the meantime, I did cut out a circle from Layering Circle dies. So I hope these dies don't go away. When the new catalog comes out, I'm really fearful that they will because so many of our other layering dies did go away. I love this, the layering circles. So what I did was I cut out this circle, okay? And I'm going to use the stamp from the Friendly Hello stamp set in Memento ink. And I'm going to ink this up in that color because I'm going to color it with my blends, right? Okay. And now, while I have that open, I think I'm going to go ahead and stamp my saying. And so of course, my favorite saying from this stamp set is, hope you have the best birthday. Because I love birthdays. Ask anybody. I love birthdays. Okay, so that's the only stamp pad we're using today is black. We're going to color this in with our blends. And so these are the blends that I'm going to be using today. Balmy Blue. I'm going to color the bird in Balmy Blue. And I'm going to color the flowers in Calypso Coral. And I'm going to color the stem, the tree leaf stem. I'm going to color that in Light Mossy Meadow. So let's start with that. So if you look at the paper, this is like almost the exact same green that's in the paper. So I don't know. That's why they don't have Mossy Meadow, I think, is because it is so close and similar. Okay, so now I'm going to color my flower in Calypso Coral. And I'm just coloring it fully. I'm going to come back and do some shading. But some blending, I should say, right? So I just got an air fryer. And I did not want an air fryer because all this time I've heard you won't use it. You can only make small amounts in it. It's a mess to clean. Oh gosh, this air fryer is amazing. So I don't know if you have one. If you don't have one, you should consider it. Oh my gosh, it makes the best crispy, yummy food. And it's also like a toaster oven. So it's limitless as far as that goes. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. Before I blend that, I'm going to let that absorb a little bit. And I'm going to color my bird. I'm going to make him a little bluebird. Using the side of my blend, right? Because I don't want to ruin the tip. I hear that often. My tips are all feathered. Okay, come back with some darker on his belly. And some on these feathers. Okay, now I'm going to blend this out a little bit. I'm going to go back to my light Calypso Coral, and I'm going to blend that. And then it takes away those really, really dark definition points. I think this blend's getting a little weak. You see the tip? How it's kind of doing its thing, kind of feathered a little bit. And if they get white on the tip, that means your ink's about gone. Okay, now I'm going to take this and I'm going to blend my bluebird a little bit. Go back over it. I think I do use more of the light than the dark. Now, my last little trick is I'm going to use the color lifter. And I'm going to lift a little of that off right here. Kind of make a highlight on his belly. Okay, I think I'm done. This is a great blending tool also. So if you have colors that, you know, and also like there I went outside the line, I could come back and try to fix that a little bit. It won't totally lift it, but it does lighten it to be less noticeable. See? That really helped. Okay, so the back will be like that. That's how you want it. Now, I did cut out of the circles, so we do have the scallops and the circles. That's why I love these layering circles so much. So I'm just going to layer this right on top of this little balmy blue. Okay, and the next thing is, I'm going to put this on here. So I am going to use some more of this. And I don't want it raised up. Let's see, how do I want this? Right about like that. I don't want it raised up the whole thing because the center is already raised up, right? So I just want the side raised up. Does that make sense? I don't want this to be standing up too high. Okay, so I'm going to put some adhesive here. And then put him like right there. Okay. And then I have my saying, so I'm going to cut that down a little. I don't need that big piece on the end. I didn't do any kind of fishtail on this. I just don't think it needs it. And I'm going to layer this on a piece of balmy blue cardstock. And I am going to pop part of this up also. Where did I throw it? Oh, here. I think I have just the right amount of this left. So if you have these and you think, oh, I only need these for if I'm making a shaker card. No, you can use these a lot. You can use these when you're making, just use them to pop things up. Okay. Okay. And now I'm going to mount this on a piece of Calypso Coral cardstock. So this is 4 1/4 by 11, and I did score it at 5 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead and make a nice crisp fold. And put some adhesive on here. I'm going to put it on the base instead of on this piece because this is popped up and it's kind of hard sometimes. This is what makes the card pop. Okay. All right. It needs a little something, and I think it needs a little Wink of Stella. So we're going to put a little Wink of Stella, which is our glitter pen, right? I'm going to put a little of that on here. Like that. And there is some new embellishment in the mini catalog, and it's called Iridescent Rhinestone Basic Jewels. So I'm going to add a few of those. Show you. Okay. So if you need to, you can squeeze it, but you don't. If it's working fine, don't squeeze it. Just saying, you'll get more than you bargained for. Okay. So let me pull these out. I just got these. I love them. They're beautiful. And I'm going to use this. And I think I'm just going to put one of these nice big ones in the center of these flowers. Yeah. Oh, that added the little piece it needed. Okay, so there's my card today. And I'm going to show you a couple different versions. Okay, so I made this card in a couple different designer series papers. So this was the one I made using the paper that came with the Friendly Hello. Okay, so the designer series paper from that is amazing, but it's limited. You only get that one pack when you buy the $100 bundle, when you earn the $100 bundle, I should say. So this needs, whoops, this needs the rhinestones, and I think I'm going to go with the smaller ones. on this one and see how that looks. I think they all look good. I don't think there's one that will look better than another. Okay. So I already did Wink Stella on there, but I did add the rhinestones. So there's that one. And I love this one also. And this is using some designer series paper that's in the mini catalog. And again, this flower works with this stamp set. Okay, so this flower to me, this is Pale Papaya. And the blend I use, Pale Papaya. And then I use Mint Macaron on the bird. So I love that one also. And I'm going to do another couple of these. I'm telling you, I got like a lot of putty. A lot of putty on there. Probably need to clean that off and start over. Okay, so those are my 3 versions of this card, just using different designers series paper. And don't they all look different just because of the paper? Hello, I think they do. So I hope you enjoyed the video today, and I hope that you also are enjoying Celebration and the new mini catalog. So talk to you later. Bye.